Hey, hope y'all have been well. I don't know about you, but I am super excited for this Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. If you're hearing this, then great, I finally got it out, but I need to switch something up. I need to work in a different way or something. I keep trying to do these giant things, and I only make one video a month or less than that. Those old Smash montages were easy. This giant discussion stuff I keep trying to do takes forever. I think what I'm gonna try is separating it into 3 parts, which feels weird and like scammy, like, oh, I'm trying to get more ad money, but I don't monetize anything anyway. I'm just gonna try this and see if it works better. I can separate them in a cute way too. First, I think I'll talk about my personal experience with Nickelodeon games. Maybe y'all will play the same, have favorite characters, we can talk about that. Then, everything we know so far, like the one trailer we've gotten so far as I'm recording this, the moves and what the devs have said, and then finally, what we could get, like what I want to predict, which I'm not going to get into it now, but Jenny from Teenage Robot. So it's like a past, present, future thing, which could be fun. I've always wanted an excuse to talk about my past Nickelodeon game experience, it just never came up. So here goes. I watched cartoons as a kid. SpongeBob, Dexter's Lab, Robot Jones, and I really liked seeing different art styles and details, like how Dexter's glasses move with his expressions. Doesn't make any sense for glasses, but it's a cartoon, so fuck yeah, it's just cool. And art styles colliding. Oof, if Gumball came out when I was a kid, I'm sure I'd be super into it. Instead, I saw stuff like Kappa Mikey or the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, or a thing called Drawn Together, which was really bad, super bitter and just reliant on shock humor, but cool premise of different characters and different art styles living together. A lot of crossovers would have art styles collide, so that made crossovers more exciting. Just so happened one of my first games ever, Super Smash Bros. Melee, had Link and Pikachu fighting. Beyond that, cartoons were just, funny, sweet sometimes, sad sometimes, interesting, mysterious. SpongeBob, though, was usually just pretty funny, and it just so happens, along with Melee, one of my first games ever was SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Both SpongeBob and Melee were really fun, and I didn't have the internet, so I discovered a lot of surprises on my own. It was amazing seeing different art styles become family in Smash, and it was amazing having Bikini Bottom be a full world to explore. I formed some precious memories, like my mom telling my sister and I to get to bed, but just one more minute because Ganondorf is in the game and he suddenly showed up, and that's extra special because I'd watch her play Zelda and try to help her with puzzles, so I know who Ganondorf was, but he kind of moved like Captain Falcon. It was weird, but oh my gosh, it's Ganondorf. Or for SpongeBob, I'm finding whole new sections and dialogue I didn't know about that's fun. Or I'm trying to get all the snowmen on the slides. My sister's trying it out too. She likes the slides too. It's cool. I never felt like I needed SpongeBob and Smash. I don't need Mario and SpongeBob to settle their differences, but I thought about characters like SpongeBob and Danny Phantom in a Smash-type game. Their stages, their movesets, what friends they could bring, how to unlock them. And I'd draw them. I'd turn the page over, draw them on the back too so they could face left or right. I'd cut them out. I'd draw stages for them to fight on. And I would just, play with dolls or action figures. I'm just playing with these drawings as if it's a Smash game. And it was neat. The more I drew, the bigger my roster got. Then, one day, somehow, must have been a magazine, I remember looking at pictures, but I saw some promotion for Nicktoons Unite. 4 shows I watched were coming together and having their worlds open to explore. I was seeing art styles come together, I was wondering if the Flying Dutchman would know about the Ghost Zone, and I could play with friends, each of us being a different character with unique skills needed to work together and progress. I think I was fortunate enough to get it for Christmas. I'm still extremely grateful, and it was amazing. Yeah, a lot of it was really rough, but the voice acting was great, character interactions, I wish there was more, but it's cool that Jimmy and Timmy acknowledge they've met before, and it's sweet Danny acts like an older brother to the rest of them, and I was hyped when you get to go back to Bikini Bottom and find Sandy's leading a resistance to overthrow Plankton. You got their worlds to explore with their art styles, the skill upgrades, the skills themselves. Danny could possess enemies for you to play as, SpongeBob could summon Doodle Bob. The music, it's not all for me, but Retroville, the track that's playing right now, has stuck with me all these years. And I did play with buddies. In the boss fight with Vlad, where you need to possess Danny's dad and punch him with these special gauntlets, we messed around and froze Danny's dad, which caused him to just disappear, making the fight unbeatable. We found a soft lock. And I did get to see Danny and the Flying Dutchman interact a little bit. I got Sandy being amazing. I did always wonder what else. Is there a way out of the lab to see Retroville? What are Sheen and Carl doing during this? Where's Squidward? I didn't get to explore everything, but what was there was still really cool. And even though there's some casual cartoons, come on, it's SpongeBob, this is still a game with very high stakes to me. They really did a good job making me feel like all their worlds and characters were very, very threatened, and that these 4 were real heroes. I don't know how, but this still gives me that feeling. I teared up while writing this part of the script. It takes me back. It was truly a great adventure that I'll always be grateful for and remember fondly.
Way to go, SpongeBob! It's over! You saved the day!
Now, I only found out about this recently, but the next game was just a year later. Apparently, all of the games in this series were just a year apart. And there's like Game Boy Advance versions, DS versions, along with the console versions, so that is a lot. Maybe they weren't lazy, they were just really rushed? Or maybe both, I don't know the full story, but some more time could have helped iron out some issues. In any case, I actually skipped the next one, Volcano Island. I can't remember why exactly. Maybe I just missed the marketing, maybe I wasn't interested in exploring an original location over the worlds I cared more for, but they had Sandy. I feel like I learned that later though. In any case, I missed out on this one, but because of this, have been revisiting lots of old Nicktoons stuff, and gave this game a shot after all this time. Not sure what I expected, but it's got the same chill cozy vibe as the next one, Attack of the Toybots. Well, not quite as cozy. You're not collecting a bunch of new characters, you're restricted to a still nice selection of 6. The core 4 are back, except Jimmy isn't. I mean, he's in the story, he's just not playable. Weird choice, but you get Sam, Patrick, and Sandy. SpongeBob even makes the same jumping noises as Toybots, I never knew. I'm also not a fan of having to collect a bunch of specific things for each character. In Toybots, you collect a bunch of one currency and use that to unlock costumes. Here, if I want a Sandy outfit, I guess I have to find these less common birds. But that's okay. I played it for one evening, got a sense for it. It's not bad, but it is very different from Unite, which is fine, but it just didn't give quite enough for me, so I kinda settled that I didn't miss much as a kid. Besides, one I liked more came out just the next year. Nicktoons Attack of the Toybots, which I got as a New Year's present. I was thrilled and played it as guests and childhood buddies came over for a New Year's party. It doesn't have unique abilities and upgrades like the first game, but they had more characters, those characters had lines, and you could unlock fun outfits for everyone. The lines weren't all that great. Maybe there were a few, but nothing I remember. Just generic stuff mostly, like time to kick butt, or this is not your day. Lots of stuff like that. But you could collect pictures of people like Aang from Avatar or Otis from Back at the Barnyard. And you collect some new playable characters too, like Stimpy, Rocco, Gur, and Jenny. I later learned there was a DS version with a really impressive cast of unlockables too, being Jenny again, she gets to be on both versions, yay. El Tigre, Zim, and Mr. Blick from Cat Scratch. And then just recently I found out there was a Game Boy Advance version too, and they had all different unlockables, so like, well, on my console version I unlocked Tuesday X. They have the mom on another version, and like the little brother on another one. They really got a lot and spaced them out across all versions. I think I would have personally rather the DS exclusive on my console versions, but Stimpy and others were cute too. Actually, I mean, I found out Gur was in the DS version too, as a secret, so Gur's there too. And special costumes like Caveman SpongeBob and Evil Future Danny, which are costumes on the console version too, play different on the DS version, while the console versions are exactly the same. So they're kind of more their own characters too. Either way, they're just beat-em-ups, but still, Zim and El Tigre. I do prefer that roster, personally. Pretty sprites, too. But hey, I still got Jenny, and her only official 3D appearance, I think? And I got to hear her voice lines and stuff, so not a bad experience. Both games are pretty simple, cozy, fine, platformery beat-em-ups with stuff to collect and animations for favorite characters to oogle at for a bit. They really did all this in a year. All these versions have the same overall plot, but lots of differences. Maybe they wanted to make sure kids like me could have a memorable experience no matter what console they had, or maybe it was more businessy than that. But maybe that work dragged them down a bit. Maybe a larger staff would have helped, maybe more time, probably, definitely, yeah. Playing as Jenny is incredible, having her acknowledged and celebrated at all means a lot, but yeah, gameplay was nothing special. You mash A, do your 3 moves when something's nearby, levels were okay, boring mech parts, sorry. I know designing the mechs took work, but just never got into this. I want to play as the characters I like, I don't know. You got special levels for SpongeBob, Danny, and Tack, and hey, the SpongeBob ones are like the slides in Battle for Bikini Bottom, that's cool. They don't feel as good, but alright. I would have loved some less generic lines and adored some more character interactions based on the team you went in with. If you don't know, they never chat with each other. There's actually more discussion in the DS version, just some scenes where you unlock the character, but that still goes a long way. The outfits were cool and I had a nice time. Yeah, it's pretty cozy. I guess it's definitely one of my more favorite ones of the bunch. Definitely could have been better, but pretty alright overall. Then finally, there was the Nicktoons, or like SpongeBob and Friends, Globs of Doom. In this one, Goo rains down and starts taking control of everything, jeopardizing everyone's worlds. That's a fine plot, good excuse to visit everyone's worlds again, like back in Nicktoons Unite, apocalypse threatening everyone, and it causes the gimmick of the game, which heroes and villains gotta work together. It's a cute excuse to get to play as characters you otherwise never would, like Plankton. But some of these choices, we've sort of already established through Nicktoons Unite that Vlad is Danny's villain, Professor Calamitous is Jimmy's villain. Not that I'm dying to play as Professor Calamitous, Vlad would have been cool though, but instead Technus, who, I didn't even know that was a guy? Like, I guess I missed that episode or something? And Beautiful Gorgeous from Jimmy Neutron, like, okay, sure. I guess I prefer her over Calamitous, but man, I'd really prefer Jenny and Sandy. But okay, heroes and villains. So we also got Tak and his villain. Jenny and Vexus would have been a great pair. Alright, you know, whatever, we got what we got. We got Zim and Dib though, that's pretty cool. Pretty interested in seeing them, but ooh, Zim's mouth is not built to close. And Dib's eyes stretch out to reach his glasses, while he's also got these horrible skeleton hands. The models seem to have struggled, and oddly, some animations okay, some animations... overall, the animation is maybe the worst in the series. What the fuck is this scene with Bubble Bass, where the goo gets on him and SpongeBob's like, no, and then he just makes this bored face. Like, beyond just Bubble Bass, because everything here, you can see all this. But the way SpongeBob screams no and then immediately looks bored baffles me to this day. Oh, and that Tak villain guy, I guess his mouth doesn't close either. Ugh. And Plankton just does not look like Plankton. GameCube Battle for Bikini Bottom Plankton looks like Plankton. How the fuck does Wii Plankton fuck it up? What's going on with his mouth too? What is with the mouths in this game? Biggest mistake of all though? Uh-oh, red alert. You can't even choose who to play as. You gotta start as SpongeBob and Beautiful Gorgeous. If you want to play as Dib, you gotta wait till after 2 boss fights, till the 3rd world. And I hope you like fucking Tak villain guy, cause he's coming along and you can't change it. Oh, poor Dib. It's not even like they have unique skills to get through the levels like in Nicktoons Unite. They all just mash A and hit buttons like in Toybots. They all play pretty much exactly the same, so besides forcing screen time for everyone, this restriction is completely pointless. One time the floor didn't load. I like jumped on an umbrella and waited, and it just didn't come back. Sometimes in Toybots I've seen the floor not load, but it would like load if you waited a bit. This one no, so I just jumped on stuff and went far enough until something happened. And yeah, the writing's underwhelming again. Everyone has like this line about their new shoes when they step in the goo.
What did I step in? Oh, shoes are imported.
So many weird moments. There's like a scene with Gerd, he gets hit with the goo, and Jimmy's like, oh no, we gotta catch him. And Dib's like, I've always wanted to say this. Attack. And that's dumb on its own, but it doesn't even work. Like, no, we have to catch him first, Dib. Come on, what are you talking about? If you loved this game, then awesome, but for me, it fell flat. It failed as a cozy time like Toybots, mainly because of the restriction of who I can play as, and it didn't really live up to be a big dramatic adventure like Unite either. In a roster of 10, I kinda really don't care about like half of these. Just not enough for me here. Ah well, no big deal. There was a DS version too. I was at the mall with my cousin and she was so sweet trying to get me a gift. I must have been really annoying saying I didn't want or need anything, but I did take a second to look at the box art of the DS version of Globs of Doom just to see the differences, and she snatched it up and got it for me. I kept saying she didn't have to, but I made sure I was also grateful, and I did really appreciate her sweetness in just trying to get me a gift. And I think it was actually better overall. There were less pairings, but levels were built around the unique skills of those paired, and the sprites were pretty. Some were used from Attack of Toybots DS, I'd later learn. Tak's villain actually looked cool too for once, I gotta admit, with some of these pretty sprited animations. And that's where these games stop and where I stopped playing. It was a neat series, but I don't know, the budgets, the care, seems like there was care, but was there time? I can't believe these were all 1 year after the other. I still got precious memories, playing as Jenny was miraculous, collecting different outfits, seeing different character interactions, character acknowledgements, exploring worlds, discovering version differences, and then yeah, a lot of unfulfilled hopes, a lot to be underwhelmed by. Funny, the one I missed is the only one with Sandy playable, and for whatever reason she was the only playable character up until that point to not get into Toybots. Would have been cool to see her and Jenny team up, but overall, cool series that could have easily been cooler. There's Nickelodeon baseball and kart racers, never mess with any of that, but I do like going down weird rabbit holes and looking at rosters, and I found one day there was a series of quick flash games where Nickelodeon characters punched each other. Seems like something maybe some Nick staff had some laughs about, or maybe companies like this tend to order some quick marketing, maybe it's like a mix, I don't know. But I was interested to find, like, Okay, Bloom from Winx Club is in it, I guess, and she could fight Korra. Or Mr. Crocker or some Rabbids, too. Such strange choices. In one of these, Plankton fights by mind-controlling a guy, in another he has like a mech, but you see what characters they cared to acknowledge at the time, and some stage ideas like Sandy's Tree Dome. Then you keep going down this rabbit hole and find out there's a gotcha for it with Reptar, Helga, and Jenny! Looks really rough, though. Danny's eyes... they don't care to shape him, they just slap his eyebrows on top and leave the eyes still going up there, and... oh, how he runs, his legs bending at the thighs, I guess? They don't even care to reverse the D on his chest when he faces the other way. Such a mess. I'm not gonna download this. Everyone still only seems to have like 4 moves and a super, but... interesting. You know, they got Tommy Pickles and Luna Loud. Korra can fight Jenny. You know, it's interesting to see and analyze and wonder about. This ongoing series and the pretty art Nick staff made with their love of Smash Bros. Gave me hope that one day this rabbit hole would keep going into a full-blown Smash attempt. And then, July 10th I think it was. Yeah, it leaked. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Definitely sounded like a Smash attempt to me. I think I was glad, like, oh, finally, but I wasn't hyped yet. I figured it would be closer to their past attempts, or maybe closer to Cartoon Network's Smash attempt, their Punch Time Explosion. I thought it was a step in the right direction, but that we weren't quite there yet, that maybe it could lead to something good. And then July 13th, my internet was out, it was a whole thing, whatever, but I went to a corner of the house with 4G, and Twitter was so funny, buzzing with all this stuff, and I'm hearing, what the wave dashing, Slap City devs, rollback netcode. I go and look at the trailer, and it's not ugly like the phone game, this looks like a game. I go to the website, and there's already a pretty new build of the game, and the renders are just gorgeous. And then there's this fucking interview, like, hey Ludosity, the Slap City devs, how'd you get in with Nickelodeon? And they're like, yeah, you know, Nickelodeon emailed us after seeing we did a good job with Slap City because they're prioritizing a fucking competitive future for some reason, and they gave us a bunch of freedom with the roster. Like, it's just one good sign after the other. What the fuck is going on here? Because of the explosive response and support, there's already talks of DLC, and Ludosity instills so much confidence in this for me. Like, Slap City is so good. They're probably not handling menus and music, but the gameplay at least is gonna be fucking amazing. And the other stuff can be good too, like, Ludosity wasn't involved in Kart Racers 2, but they have some nice music there. The only, like, bad signs to me are, yeah, maybe there's not gonna be voice acting. Kart Racers 2 didn't have voice acting. And Patrick's grab in that one clip had stupid range, but that's probably already very outdated. But yeah, the voice acting thing. I mean, Rivals of Aether and Slap City don't have voice acting, and I still really like those. Could be worse, we could have annoying voice acting, like the Cartoon Network thing, where people are just screaming. But yes, it would be nice to ideally have good voice acting in this game, but maybe next time. Oh, or maybe this time. I mean, I'm guessing not, but we're not sure, so yeah, maybe. I guess I just don't mind too much, and I do hope there is a next time. The good heavily outweighs the bad for me here, and this could become a fun, legitimate series with lots of fun characters, flashy combos, hype grand finals, lasting precious memories. I hope the hype keeps going, I want to see more fan rosters, I hope the game is good, I hope it sells well, I hope Nickelodeon and Ludosity keep collaborating, I hope this is just a start. But before I start thinking about sequels, I should really look at what we're getting in this game so far. And I'll be happy to do that next time. Do you like the separation thing? I think it might work out in the long run. Now I gotta edit this shit though. Well, see you next time. Wish you all the best. Bye-bye.